I'm always on the hunt for products that will help me along my never-ending hair care journey, and a brand that I am so in love with is JVN from Jonathan Van Ness. One of the products I'm absolutely obsessed with is the Instant Recovery Serum. It's a deeply moisturizing hair primer that doesn't weigh my hair down at all. It fights frizz and it protects against heat, so it's become such a big player in my routine. If you want to try JVN for yourself, and trust me, you definitely do, head to jvnhair.com and use the code Elyse20 for 20% off your entire JVN collection. Let's talk about mental health. If you feel like you might need support, Hers can help. At forhers.com, you can get access to healthcare providers who are available for your mental health and can prescribe trusted medications if they're right for you. It's 100% online. To get started, go to forhers.com/Elyse. That's forhers.com/ELYSE. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
Lemonada.
What was my first experience with manifestation? Great question. I would love to tell you. When I was growing up, I always believed that in some way I had magical powers. Now, I know that most kids think this at some point in their life growing up, but I really, really believed it. I walked around thinking I could control time. I just chose not to control time because I didn't want to mess with the space-time continuum flux capacitor situation. I mean, I was just figuring out my multiplication and division times tables. I didn't really have time to kind of conquer anything beyond that, so I was just going to leave it be. But the powers were there. I could feel them. So one day after school, I was waiting for one of my brothers to pick me up and take me home. This was a special day because usually I was picked up by the YMCA bus and taken to after-school programming, but the days that I just got to go straight home and get picked up by one of my brothers, jackpot. That is a good day. So I waited patiently on the grass in front of the school entrance, and there was the same teacher monitoring student pickup that was there every day. She's the one that had the abnormally large walkie-talkie just buckled to the side of her belt, which I never saw her use one time, but she very much enjoyed owning it. She kept making eye contact with me as my friends would get picked up by their parents one by one, and the amount of children waiting on this grass with me quickly reduced, thus increasing the probability that I would have to make that very long and very embarrassing walk from the grass that was making my legs itch to the landline phone in my principal's office. See, I was already the YMCA kid. I could not also be the call home from the principal's office to make sure no one forgot to pick me up kid. I've been that kid. I've done that walk. I've made that phone call. I'm not doing that today. Also, can someone please tell me why the moment school is out, somehow everything just gets darker? The lights are flickering and you see your teachers talking to each other. I didn't know you guys knew each other. You're just not meant to see it. You're not meant to see school outside of school hours. So I do what anybody would do, and I walk as far away from the pickup monitor as I possibly could without leaving the school grounds. She can for sure still see me, and I can feel my time running out. So I think to myself, okay, Elyse, if there is ever a time to use your powers, this is it. This is the moment you have been waiting for. So I tell myself I am going to count to 5, and by the time I'm done counting, my brother will be here. And if not, I will just run home anyways, because I will not be making that phone call today. So I close my eyes and I start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5, 4.75, 5. And before I get to 5, I can hear my brother speeding towards me on his broken bicycle that he swears he can fix by himself. And he's yelling at the top of his lungs, I'm here, I'm sorry, I'm late, I'm here, I made it. I open my eyes, I see my brother, and in that moment, everything I believed about my ability to control time was confirmed. Did I ever use that skill again in my life? Absolutely not. I didn't want to run the risk of finding out that it actually was just a coincidence. So, thank you. Okay, actually, can you just pretend that you're listening to a fully complete theme song here? I got really in my head, and I tried to make it perfect, and I couldn't. So this is going to be the theme song right here. Hello, I'm Elyse Myers. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Funny 'Cause It's True. This is a show where we talk about the not so funny moments that become funny over time. Today, I'm joined by the amazing Tristen Winger. Tristen played baby voice Darius in Issa Rae's web series, The Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl. He made his TV debut as Thug Yoda in Insecure, also by the incredible Issa Rae. And this fall, he plays a veteran detective in the new CBS series, So Help Me Todd. We sat down and talked about meeting our idols, how boring math is, and Tristen's superpower. Okay, let's get into it. Two things that are funny because they're true. Number one, I quickly learned in this interview that Tristen and I are basically the same person, almost to the point where like mid-interview, I was like, did you just Google a bunch about me? Are you making fun of me? No, it turns out we're just very similar. Number two, after I got off this call, I made like a long list of things that I wanted to do before I was 35. That'll make more sense to you later. And part of me just wants to like mail a copy of this list to Tristen because he was very inspiring, but I don't want to be creepy. So I think I'm just going to do it anyways. Okay. I'm okay. Oh my gosh. Tristen Winger, how are you? Hi.
What's up, Elyse? I'm excellent. I am so good.
I have been looking forward to this conversation all week. I have been doing the thing where when you are trying to learn everything possible about somebody, you just watch everything someone's ever been in and try and read all the things. And like, it's learning so much about you like this has just been an honor. And so I would love to know, like, just besides everything else, what are you doing right now? What are you excited about? What's going on in your life right now?
Well, I'm in Vancouver. I'm shooting a new show for CBS. It's called So Help Me Todd. And this is my first network show. I've always wanted to be on like network TV. I even wrote in my journal on New Year's Eve, I was like, these are the things I want to accomplish. I want to be a series regular on a network. And then it happened. And it's just, the power of manifestation, man.
How long after you wrote that in your journal did you get the call that this was happening for you?
3 months.
Stop.
In March.
That is so wild to me.
It's insane.
So you've always wanted this. You're literally living your dream right now. What were you doing before acting?
So performing is something I've always done, but it hasn't always been my profession. Like when I went to college for mechanical engineering. I was and still am a nerd.
Amazing.
Like I love science. I thought I loved math until I got to college and I was like, I got to do equations every day.
And so many of them.
For the rest of my life?
Absolutely not. So you went in for engineering in college?
Yeah, mechanical engineer.
You went early, right, to college? Am I correct in that?
I had just turned 17.
So, okay, first of all, we both went to college when we were 17. Second of all, we both started with engineering and quit because of math. I'm just sitting here like, are you pranking me right now? Like, is this a joke? Like, that's so crazy. And when you quit engineering, like, did you know what you were going to go into after that? Like, what did you change to?
So I still am. I'm a huge music fan. And I love music production. In high school, I discovered through one of my teachers, there were producers who make the beats to music. And my biggest influence is Pharrell Williams. Like Pharrell, he's so dope. Him and his producing partner, Chad Hugo, they made the music that was the soundtrack to my childhood, and I didn't even know it. Like, for example, the first album that I ever bought was by artist Mace, Harlem World. And there was a song on there that I love called Looking at Me. And I love that song, and I didn't know why. It came out in 97. Fast forward to...
Sing a little clip. Just give a couple bars.
Absolutely. Why you over there looking at me while my girl's standing here? Why you over there looking at me while my girl's standing here?
Can we just give it up for these vocals? This is beautiful. This is art. This is great. This is great.
That's the hook. And it's Pharrell singing on the hook. And I never knew that until like 2002 when I was in high school. And that came out in 97. And so once I got to college, I met one of my good friends, David Bell. He introduced me to this music software called Fruity Loops, where you can produce music on your computer. And I was like, wait, I can have a studio on my computer? Yes, I would love to do this, please. And my first beats were awful.
Of course.
But eventually I got to a better place. And so when I got to a place in college where I'm not going to lie, I stopped going to class because I was bored. I was
Oh, yeah.
so bored. I was so bored. And it was like, it's not like I don't understand the material. It's just that I'm ready to move
It
on.
wasn't interesting to you. Yeah. I feel like that's the creative people in general. We cannot be convinced to love something. We either love it wholeheartedly with literally every molecule in our body and it will become our identity, or we don't. And it's dead to us.
Yes.
And like that's just like, it's an all or nothing thing. And I feel like for me, music as well, I write music, and that was like always been something that I've loved. And like, I found a lot of math in it, which is funny because I hated the
Right.
actual mathematics part of it, but I loved the equation type of like making things work. And that's what music was for me. And so I know that like I wanted to chat a little bit to you today about like idols and who you looked up to. And it sounds like Pharrell Williams is like somebody that you really, really looked up to.
Absolutely.
So, you know how Tristen said that he found Fruity Loops, and that was kind of how he realized he has like a whole music studio on his computer. So that was me with GarageBand. It opened up my entire creative world to where I could make beautiful music that was original to me, that helped me process my life. It was just this pure creative outlet that didn't involve anybody else. And I thought that no one would hear it. And it just sounds like Tristen and I connect so much on that level of like being a creative person, constantly finding new external outlets to like pour our creativity into. And then the moment that we master it, or the moment that we lose interest even for a moment, we abandon it and just go to the next thing. But for us, it does sound like music is something that we've kind of held on to tightly, like more tightly in some seasons than others. And I just love that. I love that we connected on that level. And so I just wanted to chat a little bit about that. It sounds like Pharrell Williams is like somebody that you really, really looked up to.
Absolutely.
How did, like, is there anybody else that it was like, this is a person that I like want to base my understanding of life around?
So there are at least two. One was Pharrell Williams for music, and the other, Steve Urkel, Jaleel White. Steve Urkel's character
That checks out. Okay.
on Family Matters. Like, I love Steve Urkel. Like, even when I was a kid. So, TGIF was a big thing.
Okay, really quick. If you're not familiar with the whole TGIF block of programming that Tristen and I are talking about here, no worries. I had to do a little mini deep dive to kind of make sure I had my facts straight as well. So if you have never heard of this, around 1989, ABC decided to create this whole like block of programming type situation on Friday nights. TGIF stands for Thank God It's Friday, but ABC, being a family friendly network, was like, no. It stands for Thank Goodness It's Funny. So none of that Thank God It's Friday business. And some of the most popular shows on their network at the time that would play in this block were Family Matters, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Clueless. We had Full House, Boy Meets World. Personally, Boy Meets World was my absolute favorite, simply because I wanted Eric Matthews to be my first boyfriend, of course. Was he? No, absolutely not. Shout out to Eric Matthews. Love you. Not really love, just love in like a admire love.
So I could watch all of TGIF starting with Family Matters.
Yeah.
And Steve Urkel was the first time that I can remember that I saw myself represented on television. I saw this nerdy kid who was a black kid. He wore suspenders. He wore glasses. He liked cheese. So I like cheese. And my mom let me wear suspenders to school every day. I have a picture of it, several pictures of me wearing suspenders as a kid. And so, Steve Urkel will walk in, got any cheese? And I'd be like, yes, I got cheese. Whatever he says and he does, that's what I'm saying, dude. And even though everyone else thought he was just a nerd, I was just like, but this is me. And I never saw that as a bad thing. I never saw Steve Urkel liking science and math and being in love as a bad thing. And that was me. Like, I remember all my crushes' names. I can tell you the name of my crush from elementary school.
What's her name?
There was two. There was Joanna Watanabe. And there is Tashima Jones, who I'm still friends with to this day.
They're going to hear themselves on this podcast. They're going to be like, I didn't realize I was going to be talked about today, but that's cool. It's fine.
But like, that was me. I was just like, he is a hopeless romantic. And
yes,
me too, Steve.
I heard that maybe you tried to get on to Family Matters.
I remember, oh my God, I was so excited. So, Family Matters, they had announced at the end of one of their episodes that they were doing a competition, a contest for a walk-on role to be in Family Matters.
Oh
and
my
here are the
gosh.
rules. You have to be within a certain age range. Check. You had to take your favorite Steve Urkel scene and recreate it and then send in your tape.
Oh.
Those are the rules. Very simple. My mom also is a teacher, so she's an overachiever. She's the best teacher in the world. She was like, okay, cool, let's do this, Tris. You know you want to do this. You got it. You got your impression down. But let's take it a step further. We're going to create our own scene. First of all, Mom, that's not the rules. The rules don't say create your own
First of
scene.
all, Mom.
The rules don't say that. The rules say to recreate a scene. But I'm 7, I think, at the time. So it's like, I can't tell you what to do, Mom. So I'm like, yeah, let's do it. She's like, we're going to incorporate your ability, your talents. So you're going to sing and you're going to act. I was like, okay, cool.
Mom believes in you.
My mom believes in me so hard to this day.
That's powerful.
It's so powerful. So Aladdin had just come out, maybe a few months before. And it's the first Aladdin, and it's fire. Nothing but heat in that movie. A whole new world, fire. And so my mom was like, here's what you're going to do. She set the scene for me. She said, okay, you walk into the room and you've decided that you're going to tell Laura Winslow, the person who Steve Urkel is in love with, you're going to profess your love to her. Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. And so she's like, okay, you cool. You walk in and then you're going to break into song. After you tell her you love her, you're going to break into a whole new world. I was like, okay, this makes sense. And so here I go. I walk in, Laura, I love you. And then I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. It makes no sense. Why am I singing this song?
Oh my God. No. This is amazing. This is amazing. This is amazing. Just a mashup, just a medley of all the genres.
Yes. We recorded it. Boom. Sent it in. Needless to say, I did not book that walk-on role on Family Matters.
But hey, you explored your creativity, and that's what matters. Do you think that, like, because you idolized, like, Urkel so much, that affected your desire to go into engineering?
Yeah, absolutely. Because Urkel was an inventor. He was he was a teenage scientist and inventor. And it's just like, I've never seen that before. And like, he just put all the things that he loved together. Scientist, inventor. And I'm sure he was an engineer by the time that the show got canceled.
We got to take a quick break, but we will be right back. Hers wants you to know that you no longer have to manage your mental health alone. Hers offers access to mental health care that can support you in your day-to-day. At forhers.com, you can get access to healthcare providers who are available for your mental health and can prescribe trusted medications if they're right for you. And it's 100% online. If prescribed, you can get your first month of treatment for only $25 and afterwards for $85 a month, or $49 a month with a 3-month subscription. To get started, go to forhers.com/Elyse. That's forhers.com/ELYSE. Look, I know that getting access to the proper mental health care can sometimes be a source of stress in and of itself. That's why Hers makes it simple. Get started today at forhers.com/Elyse. That's forhers.com/ELYSE. Offer only available if prescribed. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. I'm the kind of person who likes to simplify decisions, especially when it comes to my everyday choices. I like to wear the general same outfit, comfy plain tee, comfy pants, and I do like to have the same snack, cashews and chocolate chips, if you didn't know that already. That's why AG1 from Athletic Greens just makes sense. It also simplifies things. It's a simple scoop in a glass of water every morning. It doesn't ask you to choose between a probiotic to help your gut or a multivitamin to help your energy. It does it all at once every day. With just 1 scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This isn't a meal replacement or a vegetable replacement. It's just a super simple way to get all of the above goodies, which help with gut health, immune system health, and nervous system health. I have friends that love it for the prolonged energy that they get throughout the day. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/Elyse. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/ELYSE to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. And so when you went into that and you started doing more music, is that when you kind of latched on to Pharrell as your like inspiration and kind of like a musical hero? Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, so with that Fruity Loops software that I had on my computer, I started just doing, you know what? Okay, let me see if I could recreate music. And that basically was the practice, which kind of tied into with my acting, like mimicking and doing impressions of people. I was like, okay, cool. So I can just recreate this drum pattern, cool. Maybe find these sounds, sample some sounds and put them into Fruity Loops so I can recreate them. It was just, he's just so dope. And now, like, he's more than just music. He transcends music. He transcends genres.
Hold on. I didn't realize that other people learn this way, which sounds so dumb as I say this out loud, because how else do you learn if not like recreating things that you're seeing? But hearing him explain this just validates that feeling in me, because there's so much fear that sometimes I'm not actually creative. I've never heard anyone really express that before. So I think that's really, really cool. And it makes me feel a lot better about the way that I learn.
He transcends music. Yeah. He transcends genres. He's just so dope. Like, he even produces like TV and film and stuff. So did you
see Voices of Fire? Did you watch that?
Yes, I did.
Oh my gosh. For those that don't know, Voices of Fire was a show where they were trying to find like the best gospel choir and vocalists across the states, right? And then it all led up to this like performance. And Pharrell showed up to like one day of auditions and sat and like he started like crying when one person auditioned. And it made me cry, because it's like with music, it hits you at a level that you just, like I said, they can't explain. And to watch him cry at a stranger who can't even believe Pharrell's probably just in the room with them. Like, I just feel like that would be, I don't even know how they got through the audition.
Right.
I just don't. And have you met Pharrell in person?
I was about to say, I share that feeling because, so I was working on the show Awkward Black Girl, Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl with Issa Rae.
How did you know Issa Rae?
We went to high school together, same class of '03, the greatest of all time.
Wow.
That was our class name.
Okay. I was like, okay. just throwing that out there. Yeah. Mine was class of 11, XI, So Fly. So
I'm glad it rhymed.
You know, the Roman numeral is XI, and we'd go XI, So Fly. For those that can't see me, I like literally just like did a flying motion. So it's good. When we made that up, we thought that it was so badass and we just looked so tough. And now sharing this with somebody else for the first time outside of high school, it's actually super lame.
And we were doing our photo shoot. One night we were stealing shots in Beverly Hills to get these perfect backgrounds. And I was ear hustling. I was eavesdropping on a conversation Issa was having with
ear hustling. Wait, ear hustling? Is that what you just called eavesdropping?
I was ear hustling. I was like, what's going on?
I will be using that term for the rest of my life. Ear hustling. Okay, got it. Keep going. Sorry.
So as I said, I was ear hustling, listening to her conversation, and she was talking about a video shoot she was doing with Pharrell. And when I heard that, I was just like, hey, Issa, you know how I feel about Pharrell. Can I please, I promise I won't say anything. I will be quiet. I will just chill in the corner. Can I just come and be there and maybe meet Pharrell? She was like, yeah, of course. I'll send you the information. And so fast forward to this moment, the day comes. It's in downtown LA. I find a parking spot. I am sweating. I'm like, okay, cool. Hopefully Pharrell likes my outfit. I walk up to the doorman. I'm like, hi, yes, I'm here to go to this. I'm
so nervous for you.
This penthouse. The security guard's like, oh yes, your name is on the list. I was like, okay, great, cool. Whew, pass that checkpoint. Get on the elevator. Ride the elevator.
It shouldn't be on the list.
I was on the list. Got in the elevator. Went all the way up. You're going to the penthouse. Oh, okay. Of course I'm going to a penthouse.
That makes sense.
Boom. Get up. The elevator doors open. I am in the penthouse. I didn't know, this is 2011, 2012. I didn't know that, you could have an elevator open up in your home.
I didn't know that till right now. I'm learning this right now.
So I walk in and then I see Issa. I'm like, hey, she's like, you made it. I'm like, you damn right I did. Give her a hug. She's like, hey, okay, well, just hang out. There's some fruit, whatever you want.
Oh my gosh.
Just chill. So I go in, I sit by the window. There's like a little ledge or whatever. And I'm just kind of sitting and I'm keeping myself busy on Twitter, scrolling. And so like the elevator will open up and every time I would just kind of peek up and kind of look over to see who it was because I was trying to be cool. I'm just like, okay, is that Pharrell? No, it's not Pharrell. Somebody else would come up. Issa's publicist would come up and somebody from production would come up or maybe, a barber would come up. I'm just like, oh, okay, great. And like the sixth time the elevator doors open, I don't look up. But I hear all these females and I hear, hey, and then I look up and then I see like a stylist walk out. I see Pharrell's bodyguard walk out. He's huge. And then I see Pharrell walk out. And this is that time period when Pharrell was like wearing like these Timberland boots that he would paint on and he would draw stuff on. He was dressed real cool and he had blonde hair that was like maybe the length of my hair. And he was wearing a hat. And I remember the very first thing I thought when Pharrell walked in the room is, damn, Pharrell got a big ass head.
Did you say that?
No, I didn't. I did. I said it to myself.
Okay, good.
Like, damn, he got a big ass head. Wow, now I don't feel so bad about my head.
You have more restraint than I did when I met my idol, but I can talk about that later. So you are already light years ahead of me. This is amazing.
He walks in. He's very, very kind. He walks up to everybody. Hey, how's it going? My Pharrell impression. Hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going? Oh, man, so good to meet you. Cool. So he meets everybody. They, Issa and Pharrell talk, and then they go into the room to film their thing. And I'm sitting out there, and I'm there with my friend, one of my friends, Raphael. He's just like, dude, yo, you got to get a picture. I'm like, yeah, I know, I got to get a picture. They finish filming in there, maybe 10 minutes. Pharrell comes out, and he walks straight over to me, and he's like, yo, man, you're my favorite character on Awkward Black Girl. And I go,
Stop.
Thank you. It's like, yeah, man. Hey, yo, we should record a video. And I said, yes, we should record a video.
You are joking. He knew who you were?
Yes.
Did you pass out? Because I would have passed out.
No, I just started to sweat more.
Okay, wait. So he wanted you to do your character?
He said, all right, let's do, you got to do the thing. And so my friend Raphael was like, I already got you, bro. he already had his phone out. And so we stand, Pharrell faces me and I just start, hey man, I just want to tell you that I'm just so excited about it. And Pharrell starts cracking up. He starts dying.
Okay, so knowing the backstory of this video makes the video a million times more like nerve-wracking and exciting and funny. The fact that Tristen just kind of casually was like waiting for Pharrell to notice him and to be in this room with him. And then once he was in the room with him, it was like this presence. And then all of a sudden Pharrell's like next to him and he's like asking Tristen to do his character that he's famous for. The way I would have absolutely just like passed out. It's so beautiful. And then you watch Pharrell, hear Tristen do his impersonation of like his character that he plays on television, and Pharrell just doubles over in laughter.
First time I broke, dude.
Yeah, I'm just tell you I'm done now.
Could you imagine somebody that you have looked up to your entire life think you're so funny that they literally can't stand up straight? Can you just imagine? I can, and I also can't. Like, in this season of my life, I have been able to meet people I never even imagined I would share 100-mile radius with. And the fact that, like, I am watching this happen in front of my screen for Tristen with Pharrell is, like, so beautiful. It's exactly the way that he explains it and a million times better beyond that.
And he talks to the camera. He's like, yo, we still recording? Okay, cool. Yo, Awkward Black Girl, check it out. And I'm just... So Pharrell knew who you were, asked for an impression of you. Yes.
What did that feel like? Because like that was probably a big moment for you to realize somebody that I've looked up to for so long that has shaped the way I see what I do, knows who you are. Like, what did that mean for you?
That was one of the best days of my life.
Really?
It was extremely validating because one of the things I think about with like, manifestation and going after what it is that you want in your life is, and I pay attention. So it's like, so for me, for example, with the engineering thing, like I kept hitting roadblock after roadblock. Tried to do mechanical engineering because, my uncle is a physicist. He works for aerospace. And so I was like, well, I'm going to be an engineer so I can also do that thing. But it wasn't something that I was in love with. But I tried and I failed. I worked for Target as a guest service team leader, tried, failed, worked for Apple at the Genius Bar, tried, left. But every time I went after the thing that I loved, which is being a performer in arts, like I succeeded at it. And then that moment, I'm like, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. This is exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah. It was like everything in your life probably just got to that moment and you were like, okay, big marker in my life from here on out.
Yeah.
I like made a video about how my childhood crush was Lance Bass. And like, I literally forget that people see my videos. Like, I make them because they're funny. I literally forget people watch them, and especially people that they're about. And he responded to it and said like, hey, Elyse, like, I know who you are, basically. And I was like, that's a lie. And then I responded to it and he's like, hey, let's meet. And I'm like, that's not happening. And then we ended up working together. And so you restrained yourself when you met Pharrell. I did not when I met Lance. So I walked up to him and all I could say was, you are so beautiful.
You're so beautiful. You're like even more beautiful in person.
And I did not stop saying that. I just like... I could not stop saying, you are so beautiful. And he was like, okay. And like continued to move on. And I was like, your rings, beautiful. And I was like, your hair, beautiful. And we worked on a shoot together. And I was like, did you just dye your hair? It's beautiful. And he's like, I did. It was just this crazy moment, like for you, where it's like everything I've ever wanted and everything I didn't even think to want because I didn't even think I could. Like, it's happening right now. Taking a break, and we'll be right back. ButcherBox takes all the guesswork out of finding high-quality meat and seafood that you can trust. They offer 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, crate-free pork, and wild-caught seafood delivered right to your door. With ButcherBox, everything is humanely raised with no antibiotics or added hormones. Also, ButcherBox has been super convenient. I am really excited at the idea of not having to scour a bunch of labels and then wait in line and lug a bunch of heavy bags home from the grocery store. Also, props to ButcherBox for having truly the most unique promotional offer I have ever heard in my life. Are you ready? The main course for Thanksgiving dinner can sometimes be the most stressful part of the holiday. Not anymore. ButcherBox is offering our listeners free turkeys with their first order. Sign up today at butcherbox.com/ELYSE and use code Elyse to get one 10 to 14 pound turkey free in your first box. That's butcherbox.com/ELYSE and use code Elyse to claim this deal. Did I ever think that my first name would be used as a code for a free turkey? Absolutely not, but I love it. Grocery shopping is something that I struggle to find time to do, but with Thrive Market, I stress less because I get everything I need and so much more in one place. And it's all delivered right to my door seamlessly. Just browsing their website and app, you will quickly notice the quality of items along with great bonus offers and discounts. Thrive Market has everything from pantry essentials to frozen meals, non-toxic cleaning and beauty products, and even items for your pet. When you buy from Thrive Market, you can save up to 30% off the best organic groceries. My favorite thing from Thrive is their boxed cold brew. Jonas and I get it and keep it in our fridge and just drink it throughout the week. It's so good. Also, their website and app are so easy to use. You can filter to find exactly what you want, maybe gluten-free, maybe zero waste, maybe BIPOC-owned brands. I personally save a bunch of time when I'm looking for those fruit and veggie pouches for my son. He loves them, and Thrive has so many options to choose from. Get convenient, high-quality, affordable groceries delivered with Thrive Market. Join Thrive Market today and get a free $60 gift. Go to thrivemarket.com/Elyse to get a free $60 gift. That's thrivemarket.com/ELYSE. For you, like you talked a little bit about manifestation, writing in your journal, having jobs before acting really was your thing, right? Like
Yeah.
How did that happen for you? Like, what did you like intentionally put out there? What does that manifestation journey look like?
Well, so I definitely have a manifestation journal, one that I used for New Year's Eve. But specifically, when I was working at Target as a guest service team leader, I remember there was one day in particular. One of my duties as a guest service team leader was to create the schedule for all the cashiers. And so I was in the back on the computer, and one of the ladies who worked in the beauty section, she comes back and we're talking, and she's like, "What do you want to do? Because you don't seem like you're going to be here permanently." And I was like, well,
You're like, am I getting fired? Do you know something I don't?
Did somebody talk to you about something? She was like, yeah, what do you want to do? And I was just like, well, I've always wanted to act professionally. And this is before Aqua Black Girl. And I was like, well, I've always wanted to act. Like, I've always loved this thing. And she's like, well, do it. And I was like, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go act now. And she was like, so here's what you're gonna do. And I know it sounds silly, but you just say it out loud what you want. She said, what do you want to do? And when do you want to do it by? When do you want to act by? I was like, okay, by 30. Okay, now say it as a sentence.
Wow.
I want to be acting on television by 30. She was like,
Wow.
Okay, there you go. And this is 2009, 2010. So I was about 25, 26 years old. And so Awkward Black Girl happened. And that was like a step. And that was 2011.
And that was that was TV or not TV?
That wasn't TV. It was YouTube, but it was the first.
Right.
It was the first of its kind. It was the first,
Right.
Big web series that show like, okay, this is. People were tuning in, and it was generating hundreds of thousands of views week over week. A couple years after that, Insecure was becoming a thing, and she emailed us all. She was like, hey guys, not sure if you heard, but I got this pilot for HBO coming out called Insecure. Let me know if you want to read the script. And if you read the script, let me know if there's any roles you want to audition for. There's not that many roles, but check it out. And I was like, yeah, of course I want to check it out. Checked it out. I saw some roles that I like, auditioned for it, got very far. Didn't work out, but she was like, I'm still looking out for you. Just know, I'm still looking out for you. January 2016 rolls around. She emails me out the blue, texts me out the blue. She's like, hey, Tristen, I found a perfect role for you for Insecure. I'm going to email you the scene tomorrow. I was like, okay, cool. The next day comes around. She emails me. In the email, it says, hey, Tristen, so this is a role. It's his character, Thug Yoda. He is a blood, but he's more of a father than like a gangbanger.
I love this character so much.
She was like, read it and let me know what you think. If you don't like it, we can find something else for you. No one does that, first of all. No one is like, I have this new HBO show. Here's a role that you can do. But if you don't like it, I'll find something else. That is so kind.
That's someone dedicated to your success and just your overall thriving life right there. That is like a friend to your destiny.
Yeah, she's rooting for me. And so auditioned for the role, got it. And then so fast forward to May 11th, 2016, I'm shooting my first 2 scenes as Thug Yoda on Insecure. And that day is special because my birthday is May 12th, the next day. So I shot my first scenes of TV the day before my 30th birthday.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just, so I'm supposed to be here. I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing.
I am far too soft for this job. The moment he said that he got this job the day before his 30th birthday, I was crying. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I'm for sure crying. I'm too soft for this job. I'm not meant for this life. You literally, it happened.
It did.
You said you wanted to be on network TV before your 30th birthday, and you did it the day before.
The day before. Slid in at the deadline.
You've had so many checkpoints in your career, even already, where it's just been such a confirmation to you that this is what I meant to do. This is why I'm here. I was born for this kind of a thing. Did you have any actual belief when you said it out loud? Was it desire or was it belief when you said, I want to be on TV before 30?
Well, there was, after she had me be like, okay, no, say it, but say it as a sentence. After we did that many times, I was just like, You know what? Yeah, I want to be on TV by the time I'm 30.
Yeah.
And by the time I actually said that sentence, I was no longer thinking about how am I going to do it? Well, what steps do I got to? Well, don't I have to have an agent. Da, da, da. And by the way, when I booked Insecure, I didn't have an agent or a manager.
Wow.
So like none of that mattered. None of it mattered. It happened because I wanted it to, and I believed in it. Here I am in Vancouver shooting a brand new show for CBS on Thursday night. Like it's during their comedy block, their most important night.
Is this your role as Lyle? Are you Lyle in this show?
I am Lyle.
Okay. And like so with this new role, like what are you most excited for?
I'm excited to be somebody different. I'm so grateful that all the roles that I played have always been someone different. Like with Thug Yoda, it would have been very easy for my career to get stuck into this, okay, he's a gangbanger or he's a thug or whatever type role, but everything has been very different. And Lyle is this private investigator who's also extremely type A and wound up. And so I get to play a part of myself who likes things the way that he likes them. Everything has its place. Every T needs to be crossed, every I needs to be dotted, and every file needs to be filed in that order.
I feel like you're going to have so much fun with that. So you set your intentions basically before 30. You mentioned earlier that you were 36. So what is your new sentence before 40?
Man, I need to come up with a new sentence. Honestly, just because on New Year's Eve when I wrote all that out, I was like, yeah, so I want to do oh my God. Okay. Very quick. So the other things that were on that list for New Year, and this is why like I need a new sentence. The other thing I wrote is like, I want to be in a movie. And so I can't say what movie it is.
But it's a movie.
But on my birthday this year.
Stop.
Elyse.
Are you joking?
I promise. I swear. I promise you. On my birthday this year, I shot my first scene for a movie ever. And when I got home, this show that I'm on right now got picked up to series.
This is crazy. This is crazy. This dude has magic birthdays. I'm sure of it. I want to spend whatever next birthday he has with him because I just want like the magic by association from his birthday. Something magical happens in space on his birthday to make all of his dreams come true. This is magical. I can't believe this. I'm like having heart palpitations for you. I'm like, this is so good and so much. And it's so wild. I'm so happy for you. I'm proud of you. Like,
Thank you.
I just hope that you are journaling and keeping track of everything that's happening because you're like meant to just like, you're meant to talk about this. You're meant to pass it on. You're meant to like inspire people to just like not stop because the role of a creative, the role of an actor, like, it's all consuming and it's really high highs and really low lows as a full-time creative person. And like more people need to hear about the highs because we hear a lot about the lows and we feel the lows very deeply. And it's very rare you get to hear so many high highs back to back for a person in their career so early. And like, I just hope you're taking such good note of all this because it's like, it's powerful and it's really inspiring. It's inspiring for me. Like, I want to go off on this call now and like, I need to journal. Like, I need to make some like, I need to write some sentences out for myself that I can just like say out loud because I just think that manifestation, like just focusing on your goals, things like that, like it's so good for your brain to just have something to focus on and to work towards and to remind yourself when things are difficult. And that's so crazy. I just feel like I want to ask you a million more questions, but I'm kind of running out of time. So we definitely need to do this again. But like,
absolutely.
Okay, I just want to ask one thing. Like for the rest of the year, what is something else you're like, I want to add to my list?
Ooh. What can I add to my list?
And if you have nothing, that's also okay because you have accomplished plenty. You could nap the rest of the year and it would still be great.
I mean, oh my God. Shoot. Well, there's also an animated series that I'm voicing as well and doing a bunch of voices
so
for.
We don't need to add anything to the list. Let's take things off the list, actually. Like, I'll take some of your stuff on your list and put it on my list, and then we'll make it happen that way.
You know what? I got something.
Okay.
I really would like to have defined abs again.
Okay. That's not where I expected you to go with that, but I really do appreciate it.
I missed having defined abs. So I'm drinking my water. I'm drinking my smoothies. I'm drinking chlorophyll every day.
Chlorophyll.
Chlorophyll. You put chlorophyll, drops of chlorophyll in your water.
That makes more sense. Amazing. Tristen, I am so inspired. I'm going to go manifest a bunch of shit now.
You got it.
But it's been so cool to meet you. And thank you so much for being a part of this with me.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. This has been so much fun. I enjoy your story so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I don't know why I feel so bizarre about the idea of manifestation. Not because I think that it doesn't work, but because I feel so silly doing it. And I think for a long time, I had a misunderstanding of what manifesting even meant. And now I think there's so much power in verbalizing what you want, what your dreams are, because your brain has to hear it. You can think it, you can feel it, but there is a lot of power in like the brain, ear, mouth connection that we just don't take advantage of enough as human beings. And there is a spiritual, I think, aspect of it where you're just like speaking it out and waiting for the universe to kind of bring it to you. But I think for the most part, from what I understand, it's mostly just being very aware of what you're wanting and then looking for those opportunities as they come and being open to them. Maybe I also don't understand manifestation at all. I have so much to learn, but Tristen is just so encouraging with this and it's very inspiring. I'm very inspired to like make a list of things that I want for my life. And I think I'm actually going to pause here and do that and come back and make a list for you. Yeah. Okay, number 1, I will be in production for an original scripted TV comedy series. Great. Number 2, I will be starring in a TV show, whether on network TV or streaming services. Number 3, I will have my own Ben & Jerry's flavor. This is something I've always wanted, and I would love to kind of do it Chance the Rapper style, where we like donate some of the proceeds to some type of foundation. I just think that would be so cool. I already have the flavor listed out. So Ben & Jerry's, I'm ready for you. Number 4, I will create the Just Do It Scared campaign with Nike. I don't know if anyone saw that video, but I made basically the entire campaign outlined in a video for Nike where I wanted to make Just Do It, but for Just Do It Scared. For normal people that just struggle with anxiety and just facing their normal life. And so I just thought that'd be amazing. And so I want to make that happen, that whole campaign. And number 5, I will move into my dream house that has my creative studio on the same lot as my house so that I don't have to be so far away from my family during work every day. And so that I can have space for people to come to me instead of me going to them for creative projects. So that would be like ultimate dream. And all of this before I'm 35. So I'm putting it out there, Tristen. I'm following your lead. That's all for today. Thank you so much for listening. If you want, I'd love if you could rate and review the podcast. This just helps other people find the show and hear all about Tristen's amazing manifestation abilities. Okay, see you guys next week. Bye. Funny 'Cause It's True is a Lemonada Media and Powder Keg production. The show is produced by Claire Jones, Zoe Dennis, Nancy Rosenbaum, and Linnea Tony. Our associate producer is Tiffany Bowie. Rachel Neal is our senior director of new content, and our VP of weekly production is Steve Nelson. Executive producers are Stephanie Whittles-Wax, Jessica Cordova-Kramer, Paul Feig, Laura Fisher, Kesla Childers, and me, Elyse Myers. The show is mixed by Brian Castillo and Johnny Vince Evans. Our theme song music was written by me and scored by Xander Singh.
Hey, Lemonada listeners, we want to hear from you. You know we love our sponsors for a ton of reasons, but one of the main ones is that they help us keep the lights on. And there's a really easy way that you can help us draw new advertisers and hear ads for things you're most interested in. Filling out our quick anonymous survey at lemonadamedia.com/survey. By just answering a few questions, you can help us find new brands to connect with and also share feedback about show content you'd like to see across the network. And to sweeten the deal, once you've completed the survey, you can enter for a chance to win a $100 Visa gift card. I promise the survey is short and sweet and will help us play ads you don't want to skip, and also keep bringing you content you love. Just go to lemonadamedia.com/survey. The Webby Award-winning series Untold Story is back for Season 3. With host Trayvon Free, this season explores criminal injustice in places like Rikers Island. How have conditions there created a humanitarian crisis right in plain sight in America? With leadership failing to keep detainees safe, Trayvon speaks with criminal justice reformers, activists, and attorneys on how we can enact change throughout communities. All 3 episodes of the Untold Story Criminal Injustice from Lemonada Media premiere on October 25th, wherever you get your podcasts. Casts. 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 Casts.